Hello, in my morning discoveries. I will talk today about noticing. And I realized recently what is happening when I'm meeting new people. And I put the attention on this what I'm noticing as first. And I realized that what I'm noticing is that I create the stories. I create the stories about people. And these are the stories like, he probably will not be interested in this, what I'm saying. He's probably somewhere else. She is bored and she will not like me. And this kind of stories. And what are these stories actually are my fears. So under each of the story, there is fear. There's a fear of being rejected, of being not liked, of saying something about me, that I'm doing something wrong. And all these fears are the emotional fears. So it means that all of the stories are not truth. All the stories that I'm creating about that person, because they are not really about that person. The stories are connected to my emotional fears, which are related to something that happened in the past, something that is not real in this situation here and now. And I realize how much I'm bullshitting myself by creating the stories and believing in the stories, because when I see the story and I believe the story, then I'm not myself anymore. And there is also another pattern that I realized. This is that I notice someone else's strategies. So what they are doing, what their ego state is talking right now, what is really happening. And yes, and this is very helpful for me. But also this has the shadow part that comes exactly from the same place, the place of my emotional fear. So that when I notice someone else's strategies, then I can use my strategies to avoid their strategies. And at the end, I'm playing the same game. And at the end, I am in the emotional fear. So I notice the strategies to protect myself or to defend myself. And this is also something that I don't want to do, or I want to do, but I don't want to stop there. And what I'm experimenting right now is to noticing something beyond that, something beyond the stories, something beyond the strategies. I'm noticing who this person really is. So I put my attention and my awareness into this person being. So what are their qualities? What are their uniqueness? And yes, this is very automatic for me to create the story, because this emotional fear in me was so strong during most of my life. And now I can notice that. So I notice that I notice the story, and I go through that. And then I notice that I notice the strategies of other people, and also I go through that. And then I notice, who is this person really? Who is this person without me creating the stories? Who is this person without the strategies that he creates or she and I create? And just see really through all that, what is real. Because the being is the only thing that is real. And then I end up in the space that is completely different. And also I put my emotional fear on the side, because as long as I have the emotional fear, then I will be creating the stories and I will be creating the strategies. I will be focusing on someone else's strategies. And this emotional fear is not allowing me to see deeper. So what I'm doing, and with my intention and with my decision, I decide to put this emotional fear on the side, because I know that it's not from this present moment. It's from some other moment in my past. And I can come back to that later and see what is that about. But in this very moment, I want to be present. And I realize that it's really something that I'm learning. It's not natural for me. It's not natural for me to leave my emotional fear, because it's so automatic. It's so about the survival strategies, which were so familiar to me. And it is my learning, my way to learn how to use my anger and my decision to leave this fear on the side, and to connect what really is, and connect with my fear as a feeling, which is telling me what is in the space, who is that person in the space that I'm looking at. And this creates completely different story about the space and about the person. And it creates completely different relation for me to that person. I'm relating differently, because I'm relating from the place of being, in the connection, being to being connection. And in this present moment where there are endless of possibilities. So this is my discovery for now, and I really have this urge to practice that, because I have already this experience that it's changing completely the way I'm looking into the world, and I'm looking into the people, and how I also perceive myself. Because I first need to place myself in this position that I'm okay. I am being and only being. In all these strategies and these stories, I'm only using, but I'm not them. And that's why it changed the whole game to something different, and something which is so much more real and adequate to this what is now. Thank you for listening.